Good morning, students. Our today's topic is magnetic field on the axis of a circular current loop. In the last video, we discussed the Biot-Savart's law. Now, as an application of Biot-Savart's law, we are going to derive the expression for magnetic field at the axis of a circular current loop. So, let us first see this diagram. Let we have a circular current loop in which a current I is flowing. This loop is lying on the YZ plane. The x-axis is the axis of this loop. The radius of this loop is capital R. I have marked a point P on the x-axis on which I have to calculate the expression for the magnetic field due to this current loop. Let R is the position vector of this P point from a small element, that is dl element, and let us suppose the distance between the origin of this loop and this P point is x. Let us suppose this distance is x. Now here, for calculating the expression for magnetic field at this P point due to this circular current loop, I am going to use my Biot-Savart's law, which I have already discussed in my previous video. The Biot-Savart's law gives us the expression for the magnetic field at a particular point due to a current element, or you can say length element. So firstly, we will consider a small length element or current element, you can say. I have considered a length, or you can also say length vector. I have considered a length element, that is dl element. The vector showing this length element is dl vector. Since there is a current flowing through this length element, so I can talk about a current element, that is I dl vector. Okay. Now, due to this current element, there is a magnetic field at this P point. And the magnetic field is dv vector, that is the small magnetic field. Why it is a small magnetic field? Because I am taking only a small portion of this loop, and due to that portion I am calculating the expression for magnetic field at this P point from my Biot-Savart's law. Here R vector is the position vector of this P point from this length element. So according to Biot-Savart's law, we know that this dl vector will produce a small magnetic field at this P point, and that magnetic field is given as, that is dv vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl vector cross r vector divided by r cube from our Biot-Savart's law. Now let us again see the diagram. Now let us try to calculate the direction of this dv vector. I have represented the direction of this dv vector in this direction, which is making an angle theta with the x-axis. Now how this direction I achieved? Now here we are going to use our vector cross product rule for calculating the direction, or you can say we are going to use right hand rule. Since in this expression there is a cross product, that is dl vector cross r vector, and whenever you see a cross product in your expression, you will use your right hand rule blindly. What your right hand rule says? That your right hand rule says that put the fingers of your right hand in the direction of dl vector, that is length vector, and curl your fingers towards the r vector, that is position vector. Then your thumb will represent the direction of the small magnetic field, that is dv vector. Okay. And this dv vector, since it is a cross product, so this dv vector will be always perpendicular to both dl vector and r vector. So let us demonstrate it here. This is the direction of my dl vector. This is the direction of my r vector. So I will put the fingers of my right hand in the direction of dl vector like this. This is the direction of my dl vector. and let us curl it towards the position vector. R vector is in this direction. This is my R vector, this is my DL vector. So I will curl my fingers towards the R vector. So my thumb is going in this direction. Here there is a crucial point that dv vector is not perpendicular to x-axis. It is making an angle theta with the x-axis. Okay. So, and also here you can clearly see that this dv vector is perpendicular to both r vector. This angle is also 90 degree, and dl vector. This dv vector is perpendicular to both r vector and dv vector. You can also see here that this dv vector is in yx plane. Okay, and your dl vector is in yz plane, and both the planes are perpendicular to each other. That is why you can see that this dv vector is perpendicular to both r vector and dl vector. So this is the direction of my dv vector. Let us suppose the angle between this dv vector and this x-axis is theta. Now, from the rule of my vector addition, I can do the component of this dv vector. So there are two components of this dv vector. The one component is along x-axis, which I have marked here with the symbol dbx vector. And another component is along y-axis, since this is the direction of my y-axis. So there is also a component along y-axis of this dv vector, that is dby vector. I can easily calculate the magnitude of this component, that is dvx and dvy. What will be the magnitude of this dvx component? From the rule of vector addition, you can clearly see that the magnitude of this dvx vector will be nothing but the magnitude of this dv vector multiplied by cos theta. And the magnitude of this dby vector component will be dv vector magnitude multiplied by sin theta. So I can represent this dv vector as a linear combination of these two vectors, or you can say in terms of these two vectors like this. You don't have to see this diagram here. Okay, so I can write this dv vector as a linear component of dvx vector plus dvy vector, and I know the magnitude of this dvx vector is dv vector magnitude multiplied by cos theta. Okay, and the magnitude of this dvy vector will be dv vector magnitude multiplied by sin theta. Since this dvx vector is in along x direction, and here I cap is representing the direction of this dvx vector, I cap is the unit vector along the x-axis. So your dvx vector is along x-axis and your dvy vector is along j cap, that is along y-axis. Here j cap is the unit vector along the y cap direction. Okay. Now there is an important point here. Let us understand this point. If I take a diametrically opposite dl vector of this dl vector, so it will be like this. Diametrically opposite means both the vectors will be diametrically opposite. If my dl vector is here, then the diametrically opposite dl vector of this dl vector will be here. So I have taken a diametrically opposite dl vector of this dl vector, that is this. The direction of this dl vector is in this direction. We know that the direction of the length vector is always along the direction of the current. And the distance from this dl vector to this point P is r vector. That will be same. Both will be equal. And if I take the direction of magnetic field, so from the rule of right hand, I can clearly see that dl vector is in this direction and r vector is in this direction. So I will put my fingers towards the dl vector and curl it towards the r vector. So my thumb is going in this direction. So this is the direction of my dv vector due to this current element, or you can say length vector, or you can say length element. If I do again the component of this dv vector, then there will be two components. First one will be along x-axis, that is dvx vector, and second one will be along y-axis, that is dvy vector. Here there is a crucial point that here dvy vector of this length element and this dvy vector of this length element both have equal magnitude, but the direction is opposite. So these two will get cancelled out and I will have only the component along the x-axis. And if you do this for the whole circular wire, then you will clearly see that the perpendicular components, that is the components along the y-axis, will get cancelled out because they are opposite in sign, but their magnitude is same. And you will only have the component along x-axis. Okay, so this component will become 0 if you do the summation of this dV vector, because you have to calculate the magnetic field due to whole circular wire. So if you do the summation, then you will clearly see that this component will get 0 and you will remain only with the components along the x-axis. So this is 0. So in the next page I have written it here. So I have only the component along x-axis, that is dV vector is equal to dV vector magnitude cos theta I cap. Okay. Now if I want to calculate the magnetic field due to the whole wire, then I have to integrate this equation. Okay, because this is the magnetic field due to a small current element, which I have calculated from the Biot-Savart's law. But I want to calculate the expression for the magnetic field due to the whole circular wire, then I have to integrate this equation. Before integrating this equation, let us calculate the magnitude of this dV vector. Since my dV vector is, the expression for dV vector is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl vector cross r vector divided by r cube. Let us calculate the magnitude of this dV vector. So I can write it here. Since my dV vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl vector cross r vector divided by r cube. Let us open this cross product. So what I have mu naught divided by 4 pi I, this is dl r sine theta. Let us suppose n cap. N cap is the direction of this dV vector, divided by r cube. Let us take the magnitude only. So just remove this. So if I talk about the magnitude, then this is mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl r sine theta divided by r cube. 1 r get cancelled out. So I will get dV vector magnitude is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl sine theta divided by r square. Okay. Now here what is theta? Here theta is not this angle. Okay. Here theta is the angle between this dl vector and r vector. So from the diagram I can clearly see that dl vector is in yz plane like this, and r vector is in yx plane like this, and both the planes are perpendicular to each other. So the angle between this dl vector or this r vector will be 90 degree because dl vector is in yz plane and r vector is in yx plane. So here theta is 90 degree. So theta is equal to 90 degree and sine 90 is nothing but just 1. So the magnitude of this dV vector is mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl divided by r square. So this is the magnitude. So let us put this magnitude value of this dV vector in this expression here. Okay. So when I put it here, then I will get that dV. Since this is the magnitude, when I put it here, I will get. Also, I want to clear a point here that here r square is equal to x square plus r square. What is my r? What is my r? See here, r is the position vector of this p point from this dl vector. Okay. So this is my r, and capital R is the radius, that is this length. This is the radius of this loop, that is capital R, and this distance is x. This is your small r, this is your capital R, this distance is x, and this you can clearly see that this is a right angle triangle. So if you perform the Pythagoras theorem in this right angle triangle, then you will clearly see that here r square is nothing but the capital R square plus small x square. So in place of r square, I can put here x square plus r square. So I can write this magnitude as, which I have mentioned here, or you can clearly see it here. Here r square will become x square plus r square. So it will be dV vector magnitude is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl and in place of r square I have written it here x square plus r square. Now let us put this value of this magnitude of this dv vector in this expression. So what I am going to get? I am going to get dv vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl divided by x square plus r square, and cos theta will remain cos theta, and you have I cap. I cap is the direction of this magnetic field which is along the x-axis, because y component has get cancelled out. Now I will also replace this cos theta from my diagram. Now again see the diagram. Here this angle is theta. This angle is your 90. Okay, so this total angle will become 90 plus theta. And if I ask you a question that what will be this angle, so this angle will be nothing but 90 minus theta, because the total is 180, this one is 90 plus theta, so this will be 90 minus theta. Okay, and if this angle is 90 minus theta and this angle is 90, so this angle will be your theta. That is the angle between this radius and this r vector, that is theta. Now from this right angle triangle you can clearly see that your cos theta is nothing but the base divided by perpendicular, and your base is capital R and your perpendicular is small r. So from the diagram you can clearly see that your cos theta is equal to base, that is capital R divided by small r, and small r, you know, this is nothing but the, since you know that r square is equal to x square plus capital R square, so just r will be your under root x square plus r square. So let us put this value here. So you will get cos theta is equal to capital R divided by square root, or you can say, yeah, let us square root x square plus r square. Okay, you can also write it like r divided by x square plus capital R square to the power 1 by 2. So let us put this value of cos theta in this expression. So what you are going to get, so I have put it here, that is r divided by, in place of cos theta I have put it here r divided by x square plus r square to the whole power 1 by 2. So here the power of this quantity is 1 and this quantity is 1 by 2, both are bases are same, so power will get add up and you will remain with 3 by 2. Okay, so you have final expression dv vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl capital R divided by x square plus r square to the whole power 3 by 2 I cap. Now let us integrate this equation and you will get the resultant or total magnetic field due to the whole wire. So let us suppose the total magnetic field due to the whole wire is B vector, and you will get this B vector from integrating this equation. So let us integrate this dV vector. I have written it here. Let us remove the constants from the integrals, outside from the integral sign. This is your constant, I is constant, R is constant, this quantity is also constant. Your variable is this dl, that is a small length element. So you have to integrate this length element only. So when you integrate this length element, so from your diagram you can clearly see that your length element is this small length element. You want to get the expression for magnetic field at this P point due to the whole wire. So you have to choose the small length elements, and when you add up these small length elements, so you will get this whole wire. And what is this? This is a circle. And what is this? This is the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi multiplied by the radius of the circle. And here the radius is capital R. So you will get 2 pi capital R. So the value of this integration is nothing but the 2 pi capital R. Okay. Now if I rearrange these terms, so I will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2, because here 1 2 have cancelled 1 4 and pi gets cancelled out. So you will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2 I r will get multiplied r square divided by x square plus r square to the whole power 3 by 2 in I cap direction. So this is my final expression of magnetic field due to a circular current carrying wire at the axis. So here you have to remember one point, that here we can clearly see that the direction is along I cap, means the magnetic field is only along I cap. In y cap direction there is no magnetic field due to this circular wire. Okay. Now if I want to ask you the question that what will be the magnet, since this is the magnetic field at the axis, But if I want to calculate the magnetic field at the center of the circular wire, then how can you calculate? You can calculate it directly from this expression. You don't need to do another derivation. So let me write down my final expression. Since my final expression is B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2, and this is I r square divided by x square plus capital R square to the whole power 3 by 2 I cap. Now, if I want to see the magnetic field at center, so at center, my x will be 0, because x, what was x? X was the distance of this P point from the center of the circular loop. And if I want to calculate my magnetic field at this point, so I have to make this x 0. I have to put this point here. So this x will become 0. So if I put the value of x here in this expression, that is 0, I will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2 I r square divided by r square to the whole power 3 by 2 I cap. Okay, and this 2 will get cancelled, this 2. So I will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2 and I r square divided by r cube I cap. Yeah. R square will get 1 r square, so you will remain only 1 r here in denominator. So the final expression at the center for the magnetic field will be B is equal to mu naught divided by 2 I divided by r in I cap direction. So this is the expression for magnetic field at the center, and which I have written it here also. That is at center of the loop, x is equal to 0. So you will have B vector is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 r I cap. Now let us take another case. If my x is very far away from r, means this P point is very far away from this circular wire, means the x is very greater than this small r. This capital R. Capital R is the radius of the circular wire. Then I can neglect this r, the radius of the circle loop in comparison with this x, because this x is very big and this r is very small as compared by this x. So I can neglect this r. So in my expression, since this was my final expression, so let us neglect this r, put this r 0. So what you will get if x is very greater than r. So you will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2 I capital R square divided by x square to the whole power 3 by 2 in I cap direction. Here 2 gets cancelled out, so you will get B vector is equal to mu naught divided by 2 I r square divided by x cube. So if my P point is very far, then this is the expression for calculating the magnetic field, which I have written it here also. So I hope you all have understood this very well, and this is a very important definition. Just you have to remember this final expression, and from this final expression you can calculate the magnetic field at the center or very far away from the circular loop easily. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.